What's up, girlies? It's Earth Angel Ari here, and if you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Ariana. I talk about all things becoming the best woman that you can become, feminine energy, relationships, getting into your bag, faith in God. So if that sounds like you, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm going through everything with you in real time. I'm on this journey with you as well. So make sure you hit this like button and comment down below what you love about this video. I answer all the comments. So of course we have our fun little drink. I'm obsessed. Like I can't focus without a drink. So today I'm going to be talking about how I became a six-figure online entrepreneur at such a young age, everything that I did, my journey, everything that I've learned so far, so that you can level your life up the same way if that's something that you want. So first things first, I started learning about online business about 17 years old when I was still in high school, and I was basically like about to graduate junior year. So the reason why I got started was because I just felt like in my life I had a huge people-pleasing problem. I just wanted to be the good girl. I wanted to be that girl for every single person, especially my parents and especially my dad. I just wanted to be the best daughter I could be, make them proud, and that's all I really wanted. I just wanted my parents to be proud of me. And to be honest, I just felt like I was trying to be who they wanted to be, and it was never enough. And it honestly kind of had the opposite effect. Instead of being the girl that they wanted me to be, which was good grades in school, studying to be a doctor or a lawyer, not going out to partying, I was addicted to vapes, barely going to school, failing, and just like completely unfocused. And like at that time, I was just very confused. I had a lot of anxiety. And it came to this point where I was like, you know what? I'm never going to be good enough for these people. So I might as well just be who I want to be and create the life that I want to create. And I had that awakening moment at the end of junior year when I was like, wow, next year I'm going to be a senior. And then after that, I don't know what I want to do with my life. So I started scrolling on TikTok. I started seeing all these online entrepreneurs here in Miami, basically glamorizing entrepreneurship. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to live this lifestyle. Like finally, like that would be like me being finally good enough. Like if I just became this super successful, rich online entrepreneur girl boss. So that's basically why I started in the first place. I just wanted to make myself proud and honestly feel like I was good enough for once. So I started working my first 9-to-5 job, which was basically a hostess, and I saved up some money, and me and my dad together, we invested in a mentor. And so the first thing that I started learning online was dropshipping and e-commerce. And my mentor, he basically taught me the ins and outs of like how to create a dropshipping store and promote it using TikTok organic growth. And so basically after a couple of trial and error, I finally got my first store to start working. And I think at that time, after a while, I was probably making around like $1,000 a day or something like that. And that's basically what I was learning how to do. Then my mentor, he texted me, he was like, hey Ariana, I'm going to be creating a course on how to do dropshipping. I would like to teach you how to build your own personal brand so that you can promote my course and we can get more people into my course. So I was like, okay, like sure, whatever. So he basically taught me how to actually put my face onto TikTok and how to actually go viral with my face. Because before I was just like literally taking videos of products, they would go viral. People on TikTok would go automatically to my online store and then start buying my products. But this was something new for me, and I never knew how to kind of like be an influencer or like put my face out there or anything like that. But I was like, you know what? Like I gotta do this. I can't say no. I don't want him to move on to the next person and just like maybe change their life. So basically, he kind of taught me a little bit about how to grow on TikTok. And my first video, I went viral, and I ended up like getting so good at going viral on TikTok with speaking videos and being kind of like an influencer that I ended up growing that page from 0 to 325,000 followers in just 2 months after literally never having a social media presence before in my life. Like I just took my old account where I was posting thirst trap TikToks. By the way, this is before I became my Christian girly self, but I never, like that had never happened to me before. And I was basically in high school in senior year. I was filming from literally like 7 a.m. all the way to 9 p.m. because being a full-time content creator is a lot of work. But from being an affiliate, I was probably making an extra 6 to 8 grand per month, literally at like 17 years old. So that's basically how I got started. That's kind of how I started having an online income. And then from there, I was like watching all of these entrepreneurs just like literally, like I would go visit my friend. I was 17 years old, but I would go visit my mentors like in Brickell, which is like kind of like the New York of Miami. And I would like look at their lifestyle and be like, oh my gosh, like this is like the life that I could live. Like this is crazy. And I started being like, I've never experienced anything like this. Like my mentors, they were feeding me all this like knowledge and all of like this mindset. It's like anything that you want, you could have it. And I was like, wow, like this feels so liberating and feels so different. I feel like I'm actually doing something like important, because before like my entire life was literally just high school and like I would just like watch TV all day and like basically do nothing. So I remember like basically being around my friends and then going to my family and having like this brand new mindset and being like, oh my gosh, guys, like we could literally become a millionaire in 2 years if we work really hard, if we do this, that. Because I'm seeing that from my mentors and from other people. And very quickly, people started like putting me down. And people like that I grew up with and people that I knew in my family, they were just like, who do you think you are? You think it's so easy to be a millionaire? You think it's so easy to do this? Like they were quickly getting offended at my like very optimistic mindset. At the same time, they were like, who do you think you are? You're not this like successful entrepreneur. Like, why are you posting that online? And I quickly started to get a lot of hate from everybody that I knew in my environment. And I was just like, I just felt like very hated on. I was like, how could you say that to me? Like, I'm finally doing something that I love to do. And I finally am doing something that's like, for me, I feel like is important. And yeah, I'm changing as a person, but that's because like, I want to better myself. And again, like people just, they don't want you to level up, or they think that when you're changing and you're leveling up, it's somehow like disrespectful to them and it's making them feel small and them feel insecure. So that was really hard for me. Like I had to really battle my mind and be like, no, I'm gonna do this. Like I'm not gonna let other people hold me back. I'm not gonna listen to them. Like I know what's true and I know what's not true. So I ended up deciding to move out at 17 years old and move in with my boyfriend. And at that time, he was living about like 2 hours away from Miami. And so at 17 years old, I literally moved out. I only had like maybe like a couple grand saved. And to be honest, like doing drop shipping and being a content creator was super, super volatile. It's like 1 month you can have a super good month and then the next month you don't have an amazing month. So like I really went out on a limb and was like, okay, like I want to have this life, but I can't prosper and grow in the environment that I'm in right now. So I had to leave that environment and go to another environment. And once I got there, I kept doing everything that I was doing. I kept trying to grow. And this is where like the next level up came. So I was like, okay, I have a goal to make $30,000 a month. Like that for me, I was like, wow, like if I can make $30,000 a month, I am gonna be like I'm set, like I'm happy, like I could have everything that I ever wanted. So that was my goal. And I kept working on everything. I kept hiring new mentors for drop shipping. I kept working with my mentors that were basically teaching me how to build a personal brand and how to like teach other people how to do drop shipping and like promote their course and stuff like that. And after a while, I kept trying to grow and I kept trying to progress. But the people that I had as my mentors, I think they really only wanted to mentor me because it was beneficial for them. But once I started being like, okay, I want to start becoming the boss, like I want to start building my own things, they were very like, okay, I'll help you, but like, let me get a cut. Or like, okay, I'll help you, but like, you have to pay me for this. Or like, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but it just started feeling like they want to take from your success before they even give anything. You know what I mean? So I basically decided that I wanted to separate myself because I figured out that like I figured out how much money I was really making them and figured out like, you know what, like I can really reach my goal if I go by myself. So I think like every 2 weeks or something like that, or every month, I was making them like over $100,000 like every month from like my content. And so I was like, you know what, like, you know, I'm like, at that time I was just very hungry. Like now I'm not really greedy. Like if I'm just like making the money that I want to make and like whatever, like I don't really care. I'll just like, you know, keep making you that money. Like I'm not greedy like that. At that time I was very hungry and I was like, I want to level up my income. Like I want to be like them. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, I want to leave you guys and I want to start doing my own thing. But they were like, no. Like we signed a contract and it says that if you leave us, 30% of the revenue that you generate from your account will be ours because we helped you create that account or whatever. And at that time, I was just like, rah, rah, like, oh my gosh, these guys are asking me to like build a personal brand. They're going to help me. Like, they kind of convinced me that that was just fair and that was normal. And like, I didn't know what was normal in business deals or not normal. So I signed it. And luckily, once I was trying to like pull away from them, luckily I was only 17 years old when I signed it. So it wasn't actually a legally binding contract because I wasn't of age. So luckily I was able to pull away and kind of like do my own thing. And then at that point, it was really, really hard for me because when I figured out that my mentors had like put in that clause in the contract and I started feeling almost like more like used than I was being like elevated in that time, because again, like I had a very strong growth mindset. I wanted to grow out of where I was. So I felt so betrayed. Like honestly, I felt so betrayed. I was like crying. I felt like for a long time, like I've always grown up with a very kind heart, and people have constantly over the years like taken advantage of that heart. You know, like again, I would be very like naive and people would just like be like, oh yeah, like this is what's right. And like they would kind of take advantage of me. Like this is just one example from when I was like a teenager, but like when I was younger, I remember being in kindergarten on like after school care and I was wanted to be friends with this one girl and she was like, okay, like if you want to be friends with me, cut your hair. And I just remember going to the bathroom with her and she literally like cut my bangs for me and cut them like all jagged. She was like, you have to look like me if you want to be my friend. She had like bangs. And I was just like, okay, like very innocent minded, very like trusting, very like not knowing. So I remember that was kind of like my like villain moment where I was like, you know what? Like I have the potential and I'm not going to let people take advantage of me anymore. Like I'm going to do this on my own. And I remember like thinking about this with literally like tears in my eyes, like feeling so like scared and betrayed because I forgot to mention this, but like while I was moved away with my boyfriend at 17, I decided to go full in on being an online entrepreneur. Like I was enrolled to go to college, and while I was over there like living with him, I just called the college that I was enrolled into and withdrew my application after like my dad was literally about to put the deposit, we were about to get the student loans, like everything was about to happen, semester was about to start. But I was like, you know what? Like I see a future in this and like I'm not going to waste my time doing this college thing when what am I doing that for? Like people are literally working 4 years to make the money I'm making right now. Like what how does that make sense? So I like basically was like, there's no plan B. This is just only plan A. In my head, I was like, only plan A. There's no plan B. So I was basically really betrayed when I started feeling like I had to leave my mentors because I was afraid to do it on my own. Like I was so scared. I was like, at that time, I didn't trust myself. I didn't trust my decisions. I grew up like with like my family or like people around me constantly basically like second guessing my decisions for myself and being like, are you sure you want to do like that? Like that doesn't really seem right. So I didn't really trust myself. So getting away from my mentors was really hard because if I had to get away from them, that basically meant I had to make my own decisions and I couldn't ask them. Like I would ask them everything. Is this right? Is this not right? Like, should I do this? Should I do that? Like, what should I do? I'm worried about this. Like my views are down. Like I would ask them about everything and they would give me an answer. And now I had to basically make that choice for myself. So I remember like that was my true villain mode. And I literally took a screenshot on Snapchat of my face, like crying. And like, I just saved it for myself because I knew that I was going to like level up one day. And I was like, you know what? This is the last, I said in the caption, this is the last effing day that I am not the boss ASS woman that I'm supposed to be. And I'm going to basically like become a millionaire. And I was like, this like marks the day. Like this is the day. And after that, it was really like hard in the beginning. I was like really had a lot of fear because I would just like be in my house and be like, I don't know what to do now. I don't know what to build now. Like I had a lot of fear and like a lot of anxiety and just being like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fail. Like I'm gonna have to go back to school. I'm gonna have to move back to my parents' house. Like I'm gonna fail. I'm so scared right now. And I remember like trying to do anything to like get another mentor, like trying to reach out to other people to like learn new things. And I remember like this one mentor like told me, oh, like you should start like getting into self-development and start like learning how to like change your mindset. And so when I was like crying and just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life, like I'm gonna fail, like I just decided to take his advice and just be like, okay, fine, I'm gonna search this up. Like, what is a paradigm? And so that's how I got into self-development and started learning about like how your mindset can really change your life and like how things like that. Like I believe that obviously, like I'm a believer in God and I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. So I know that God was literally working through everything and just like doing all this, even though I didn't know it was him. Like at that time, I was really far away from my faith. So yeah, basically like I started getting into self-development. And I remember one of my mentors at that time, like another one that I had paid to actually help me. He was like, you know what, if you want to make like 30 grand a month, if that's your goal, you should start a TikTok course. Because at that time I was so good at going viral. I was making my other friends go viral. Like I helped my other girlfriend go from like 0 to 200,000 in like 3 months. And I helped my other friend go from 0 to 110,000 followers in literally a week. So I was like that girl on TikTok, like knew everything on how to go viral and how to make sales. So I just didn't think that I was good enough to like for people to listen to. So that mentor was like, oh, you should really make a course on this. And like I had to really work on my mindset because I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think anybody wanted to listen to me. I was like, why would anybody want to like listen to me? Like me run my own business? Like that's scary. Like I'm just good at being the content creator who promotes everything. So after a while, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna freaking do this because I started seeing other people doing it. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm better than them at this. Like, I should be doing this. So I started deciding to build my own TikTok course and coaching business and kind of like marketing agency. And so I started building my course. I remember like working on it literally day and night. And I started like going on Upwork and Fiverr and like trying to hire these sales guys. And like I had no idea what I was doing, but I was just trying to copy my original mentors that I was promoting their course for, because I was like, you know what, like if I can make them 100 grand a month, then I can do my own thing and make myself like that same money. I just have to figure out what they were doing on like the back end. So I basically just like copied everything that they did and that they were doing. And I had no sales experience. But I remember like when I finally launched the course, I was like, okay, now I have to start posting and start promoting this course. And I just remember like praying and just like, I didn't really know what I was like back then. I didn't know like, was I into manifestation? Was I a Christian? Like I didn't really know what I was. So I was praying and manifesting, like doing all these things. And I was like, I'm going to believe in myself. I'm going to post like it's going to work. And I was posting my TikToks and like they weren't doing super well. And then on the third day, I had a dream. And then I woke up that morning and I had gone viral. And in that week, I grew my account from 0 to 150,000 followers in literally 7 days. Like it was insane. And that morning, like when I went viral, my sales guy, he called me. He was like, Ariana, we have 700 leads that are trying to figure out what you're doing and what you know. And so I was like, okay, like let's start calling these leads. So I started like picking up the phone and just dialing all these people and calling them, being like, hey, like, you know, like you want to learn how to go on TikTok, like blah, 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 going through the whole entire conversation with them. I had no sales experience. Like I didn't know how to sell, but I was closing deals. Like I remember I was like, at that time I was 18 years old. And I remember being at like my mom's house and I was just outside on the phone closing deals. Like I would just like pull up to cafes and be outside on the phone 24/7 all day, just calling all these people, texting all these people, texting them again the next day, like doing the whole sales process. And in that month, like that was basically in November, right? And that month I made $10,000 like just from that course that I launched like in that first month. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so good. Like I was chilling. And then the next month in December, oh, I forgot to mention this, but that month I was like trying to like get to my goal of hitting $30,000 a month by the end of like that year. So that month in December, I saw this video while I was randomly in my car, and it was like, you have the potential to do this. It was like a motivational video. And I was like, you know what? I believe that we can do anything we put our minds to. So we're gonna make $20,000 in the next 5 days. Like that's what I literally put in my head. So I texted my team. I was like, we're gonna make $20,000 in the next 5 days. And they were like, okay, but like I really hyped them up and was like, we can do this. So I just started going crazy. I made this website. I made like all these things in like literally one day. And again, like I was working like long hours. I would be from like morning all the way to 2 a.m. So don't think this was easy. This was like I got burnt out from working this hard, which we'll learn about in the future. But basically, after us going like balls to the walls for literally like 5 days straight, we didn't just hit $20,000, but we hit $25,000. And that was right before New Year's. So the day of New Year's, that's when we hit that $25,000. And I remember like literally during those 5 days at 1 a.m., I was on the phone with some girl from China. Like I was literally 1 a.m. on my laptop, like about to go to sleep, on the phone with some girl from China, freaking closing a deal. So on the day of New Year's, I was so happy because I was getting my hair done with my friend, and we were like, we just closed the last deal and we tallied it up. And that month of December, I made $35,000, which was my goal, which I hit. And then after that, with that business, I think in like the next 6 months of doing that business, like of that year, I think I made like over $500,000 in literally 6 months at just 18, 19 years old. So that was absolutely insane. I had nothing to spend it on. So like you best believe that I saved up a lot of money. And obviously that's how I started investing in real estate. That's how, I live the lifestyle that I live, from just getting started. And then from there, I started evolving my offers to keep my social media marketing agency. But then at one point, I just felt very, very drained. I felt very empty. Like I was living in like this beautiful high-rise apartment in Miami. I had this insane water view. I was driving my brand new BMW. Like I was making a lot of money every month, but I just felt so empty. Like I was so lonely. I was so empty. And I just like, when you get things so fast, you don't tend to really appreciate it the way that you're supposed to. So I was like, you know what? F this. Like this isn't even like worth it. Like I'm not even happy. So I decided to close down my agency, like go from like making all this money to like zero. And I decided to sell all my stuff, and I just moved to Spain to live with my boyfriend because he moved to Spain. We were doing like long distance for a long time. I've been with him for like a very long time. And I just like moved with him to Spain and like decided to like try and figure myself out. And for a long time, I've been really trying to figure myself out and figure out like who I am, like what really makes me happy, what really makes me fulfilled. Because at the end of the day, I really started this journey because I felt like I wasn't good enough. Like I thought I had to like make all this money. I thought I had to have this lifestyle. I thought I had to, be skinny, all these things, because I literally thought that I wasn't good enough. And that's like why I started all of these things. Not because I wanted to provide for me and my family, not because I wanted to be able to give abundance to everybody that I know, not because I wanted to share the wealth and share the knowledge. No, I was like, I need to be better. And so that, again, like that made me very lonely, and I just like wasn't happy. So I've been really going on like a very like trying to figure out who I am and figure out what I want for a very long time. And that's when like basically this year, like I found God. And that just like changed my life. Like finding God changed my life. Like he taught me like literally, like I like can cry at any time that I think about this, because he like taught me so much. He taught me like who I am. He healed everything that I like just was lacking. Like all the self-love that I didn't have, he gave it to me. He healed me. And like now he's guiding me to like better and bigger like career things that will make me more fulfilled and more happy. So I think that like right now at this moment, like when I didn't know what I wanted to do, like God kind of like little by little, he just like started making things happen, So like I created this new account, which is like earthangelarii, and like I started going viral very quickly. And again, like I grew this account like to over like 200, almost 300,000 followers again. And I hit like 100K in like 2 months again. So like God just like, he kept moving very quickly, but like in a different way at this point, because with this account, it wasn't about like business. A huge thing that I was lacking in my old business was like, I felt like I wasn't having impact. So like my soul was like, I'm longing for something more meaningful, something where I can really like be authentic, really help people, and really like share my knowledge, and just like really like do something, and just like be a force like to reckon with, a force of good. I've always known that I wanted to be a force of good in this world, to just like freaking bring light and just like completely like change people's lives, and at the same time become my best self, become very abundant, you know, have all the things that I wanted to have, whatever. So that God started creating this account for me, and little by little, obviously I've been, you know, doing different things like affiliate marketing, digital products, and being able to turn this into a 6-figure business like right off the bat. But I believe that there's so many like bigger things and bigger like lessons that are to come. And a few things that I'm learning right now at this moment in my entrepreneurship journey is that you just need to do it. Like, I think a huge thing that has held me back from becoming my best self as an entrepreneur and doing all the things I want to do, which is like create a brand, you know, create a better personal brand, be a YouTuber, all these things, is because I was really overthinking it and trying to figure it all out. But right now I'm at this moment where it's like, action is going to bring success. Like the faster you fail, the sooner you succeed. And like right now I'm kind of bringing my mindset back to zero, back to when I really like had nothing. And I was like, I'm willing to do anything. I'm willing to post for 6 months to a year without seeing any results if that's what it takes, because that's the mindset I had. It was like all or nothing. This is plan A, there's no plan B. And so that's kind of the mindset that I'm having right now on this future journey that I'm having. So hopefully that brings a lot of clarity to you guys and inspires you and just kind of brings you through the journey like mentally of how this works and how everything goes. And in terms of how I did all this, how I got all the information, a lot of it in terms of learning how to grow on social media and learning how to be a great content creator, I study a lot. I know how to recognize patterns. I am quick to invest in mentors. I don't care if you have it and I want it, I'll buy it. I really will invest in myself. So that's how I really got into where I am. Scared money don't make no money. And practice. And also a little bit of just natural talent. Like naturally, I've always been a very outgoing person. I've always been like the content creator type. And I've always been a really good salesperson, just practicing from when I was younger, convincing my parents to let me have sleepovers with like my 6 cousins so that we can just like create like dance choreographies and just like freaking play dolls and go run around and build bonfires. It's a whole other story from my childhood, but that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions or anything that you resonate with in this video, make sure you comment down below. And if you want to send me a DM on Instagram, if you have any questions, I'm willing to answer anybody's questions. If you're on this journey as well, you can DM me on Instagram at earthangelarii. It's the same as my username on YouTube. And with that being said, I love you guys. If you love this video and you love the value, make sure you subscribe and share this video with a friend. Bye.